Hello, it's FX Trader Paul here. It's the 2nd of December. I haven't been a bit too busy to make too many videos in the last couple of weeks, so I thought I'd get back into the habit of it. So I thought, as soon as I'm back at my desk and sitting down and sort of looking at positions for the end of the year and into 2015. Thought I'd make a little video, so I'll probably make a couple over the next few days. So I figured I'm not really talking about sterling for a while, so let's talk about sterling for about 5-10 minutes. It's a case. This is what pound against dollar. It's a monthly chart. Okay, you can see that realistically, where are we? Well, we're just really back in this range. We've had this range since about 2009, right? So it's been 5 years. Okay, this range. We popped north of it at the start of the year. Those of you who've been following me, I was talking about that, but it's just basically sold off and sold off hard, and we came back into that zone. Really, I think it's about 150, kind of 156 sort of level. Yeah, kind of 156.50, 155.50. I'm kind of watching here. You can see that there's been a huge sell-off there, and you can conjure up your own reasons for it. I think the sort of sterling weakness is a little bit overdone myself. I don't think it's in that bad a state, but with the sort of general election in 6 months, it doesn't surprise me that maybe nobody's too keen to make a decisive move on it. But definitely for pound against dollar, it's dollar strength, sterling kind of stagnation, shall we say? Okay, and I'm just basically holding 155. If it gets down, then I'm kind of looking at the kind of next level, sort of around 153, 152.50, and then you're back down to the kind of 150 levels and even 148 level lows of last year. As I said, I'm not really expecting it too much, but at the moment, the trend is down, so you'd be trading onto the bearish side, unless something happened to change your view on that. So pound against yen. Well, here we go. Let's have a look at the kind of the monthly chart again. Boom. The last couple of years has been it's been a one-way story. The start of this year was a bit dull, okay, going sideways, but of course the last couple of months as the Japanese have upped the ante and the QE turned on the QE taps, it's pushed hard north again. On the monthly level, okay, let's have a look. What's that? Kind of that next kind of level is around about what 192.63. Okay, I don't think anyone would bet against it at the moment. If I just look at the weekly, yeah, we had some really nice opportunities there. Okay, just sort of the start of the year was dull, but then okay, the last month or two it started to pop and move north. The kind of the daily didn't offer us that many opportunities to get long on that, but certainly the 4-hour chart did. Okay, and there's a few long trades there. Okay, on the pound against yen, sort of taking that and running that north along with it. So, and as I said, I wouldn't really be betting against it at the moment, okay, in terms of defying that trend, and that kind of just demonstrates with, as I said in the previous one, with just pound against dollar, you can still look at even with the element of maybe a little bit of people being a little bit snooty around sterling, that you can just still see that it's nothing in comparison to what's going on with the yen at the moment. So, yeah, still bullish bias there. Ban against Swiss, once again, here we go, monthly, okay, so not really done that terribly exciting. Okay, people may have got a little bit excited thinking they were going to break that, what was that, 2012 high there, okay, about 154.70, you call it 155, okay, people breaking above it, but it's not really done it, and the monthly chart isn't terribly exciting. On the week chart, well, okay, go down to the week chart. For me, what I'm seeing is that kind of looking around about that level, about what's that, 149.70, 149.60. Okay, that kind of level of support. If I see closes beneath that on a weekly, then I'd be taking a bearish bias. But what I'd kind of be interested to see is this a case of a head and shoulders pattern sort of forming? Okay, so if I let's say if I basically that's what I'd be looking at the moment. Let's just put that in so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so that would be the kind of left shoulder. All right, this would be the head. Okay, and I'd actually probably want to see. I personally wouldn't call that the right shoulder. What I'd probably want to see is I'd probably want to see it kind of move up to somewhere around about there. Okay, that kind of zone there, and then basically move down. Okay, and you'll know that classically that it's not that difficult to basically to work this out. Okay, if we just there we go. Let's say we had a breakout down there. Okay, so We'd have a left shoulder ahead, pop up there, okay, so if price moves back up there, I'll be interested. Right shoulder, roll over, kind of break that kind of 140, 150, 149, 60 sort of zone, as that'll be the neckline. And then, you'd be looking at it getting down to, what's that kind of about? Well, just 144, okay, that'd be an interesting drop. So that's the only really interesting thing I'm looking at in pound Swissy at the moment. So let's keep an eye on that. Pound Aussie, okay, not dissimilar to yen. Okay, Aussie and yen have been immensely weak over the last year or two. Okay, for various reasons. This is the monthly chart. Start off with boom. It's a little scrappy because of all the stuff gets drawn on it. But even though it's gone kind of sideways, there is still on that kind of monthly. There's still a bullish bias to it. If I go down to the weekly chart, talking of head and shoulders, this was one that traded earlier on in the year. I think it traded pound Aussie, euro Aussie, Aussie dollar. Okay, the pound Aussie one was the worst one for a direct trade, but the best. It was a successful buying options trade. But realistically, you can look at the last few weeks. Okay, it's nothing. It's a little bit scratchy, a little bit scrappy. Nothing terribly exciting. Nothing to sort of tempt you into it. Okay, if I'd be looking at what's that high there around about 186.80. Okay, start closing above those levels. Okay, 186.80, 187.20, closing on the daily. Might see it looking towards heading up to those kind of highs, 91.75. Alternatively, I kind of get breaks and lows and holds beneath kind of what's that, about 178.50, maybe beneath the moving average there. Then I'd be looking for a kind of a sort of a bearish bias and looking to sell there. Last couple, pound against New Zealand dollar. Let's have a look at that in the weekly. This I kind of see as this is the monthly chart. I see this as a little bit of a rounding bottom here, okay? And maybe there's an inverse head and shoulders to sort of be played here, okay? Let's just look at that, okay? So you might be getting the impression that I kind of like head and shoulders patterns, and well, you wouldn't be too far wrong, okay? I find them actually pretty good to sort of trade on a sort of a longer time frame. I actually kind of think they're very nice. Once again, I wouldn't say that I'd be wanting the kind of to see that kind of move down there. Okay, move down there, maybe down there. Normally you want your right shoulder classically to be in this case higher than your left shoulder, and that's what you'd be looking at there. Okay, just to move, and then before it moved north, and I'd be looking at what's from the head here to that. I would call that the neckline. All right, and you just really effectively, you're just going to basically calculate that. That's just pretty standard technical analysis. Nothing really exciting, nothing terribly thing. But that would cause a move up to what, about 243.50. Okay, so let's keep an eye on that on the weekly. I think definitely there's this kind of there's supporting pressure there, but realistically for us to get any kind of interest in that, I need to see a kind of a get above that 210 level, above 210, above it, and hold on kind of weeklies and monthlies. Then I'd be really keen to sort of see start sort of putting in a few buying positions. Weekly chart is just scrappy. Realistically, pound New Zealand dollar, I don't really see anything terribly exciting there. Okay, I think the monthly chart is a much nicer chart to look at. Let's go on to pound against Canadian dollar. All right, so a bit like Aussie and yen. Okay, we had just a lot of sterling strength. Okay, middle of last year into the start of this year, and then realistically, we've had some Canadian strength and a bit of sterling weakness, and we just see it really in a kind of, it's a little bit of a block there. What's that, about 186.50 to 175.60? So I see that just as in a little bit of a thousand pip block. Okay, there's obviously a bit of support there around about the 175.60 level. All right, it'd be interesting to see if that holds. But realistically, if it gets beneath it and closes it, then I'm going to be bearish bias. If it gets back up and starts getting above those highs, what's that, 186.60, then getting above and closing above that, then I'm going to have a bullish bias. But at the moment, it's not really there's nothing really there for me to get too excited about. Weekly chart, yeah, just a beautiful run up hit. I saw there's lots of people saying, oh, how it's going to break 190, but invariably, that was that in itself was probably a sell signal, and effectively we did nothing, and we've trailed off a little bit. Okay, and that kind of level is holding 176, but what would be interesting for me to know is these highs here, they're all kind of lower highs, all right, and this is basically holding, and what I'd probably want to see is, the 20 sort of turning down on the weekly level. It's kind of obviously all getting into a little bit of a zone here for the start of the year, and then we'll maybe get a decision on what it's going to do. Is it going to rise towards the top end of that range at 186.60, or is it going to basically break out of it and then move down to the next range? Okay, so final one. Let's call this final one. Yeah, Euro Sterling. Okay, probably one I watch the most based on sort of working in London, living in Dublin. This is the monthly chart. Okay, so for a man like myself who is effectively sort of earning in sterling and spending in euros. Okay, the last year has been a lovely year because we've had it's about 1,000 pips sort of move. Okay, 10 handle move, 10 11 handle move down from this kind of double top in 2013 down towards the 2012 lows at around about what was that, 78? Yes, 77.60. 77.60. You'd think that'd be ingrained in my head, but we're bouncing here. The monthly chart here is a little bit messy. So I remember some people saying, "Oh, it was a reversal signal." If it is, it's a scrappy one, and not something I particularly get terribly excited about. But if we look down on the weekly chart, that might give us a little bit of a better move. Just going to zoom out, okay, here. So effectively, we're looking at, we've been in this, as I said, this lovely channel down here. So it's made me very happy for many reasons, okay. And we got down to the 2012 lows, and we're still in this channel. We're still in this channel, but realistically, it's a little bit of a double bottom, but not really a not really a very clean one or a very exciting one to sort of make me want to sort of get on board and start buying. Realistically, what I'm looking for to get to sort of reverse my bias, okay, and start to be a buyer of euro sterling is I would want this channel line to be broken and held above it on a weekly, and then we're talking realistically around that kind of 80 pence level, all right? If we start getting above there and holding above there and on a weekly chart, then I'll start to look to be a significant buyer. Okay, do I think it'll do that? Well, if there's one thing I've learned after a long time of trading is that I want euro sterling to keep going down up on a personal level because that aids and benefits me. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that markets tend to go where they'll cause the most people the most pain, and so because I want it to go down, it will probably go up. So that's what I'll be keeping an eye on. Get above, hold above 80 pence. Okay, then I'm going to look to start entering longs on the euro sterling. If it does, in a happy way, break below 77.60, then I'll be a happy boy, and I'll watch and see if that's a chance to start taking new shorts. Okay, new shorts down to those off those new lows. But we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so hopefully you found that interesting. I'll try and do something on the euros and the indices and commodities over the next couple of days. Just get back into it, just what I'm looking at. As always, I trade well, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much.